Now, will you tell the court what everybody at home thinks of Longfellow Deeds?
They think he's pixelated.
Oh, yes, pixelated.
He's what?
Now, that's rather a strange word to us, Miss Jane. Can you tell the court exactly what it means?
Perhaps I can explain, Your Honor. The word pixelated is an early American expression derived from the word pixies, meaning elves. They would say the pixies had got him, as we nowadays would say a man is balmy.
Well, now tell me, why does everyone think he's pixelated? Does he do peculiar things?
He walks in the rain without his hat and talks to himself. Sometimes he whistles and sings.
Hoagies and grinders, hoagies and grinders, hoagies and grinders, navy beans, navy beans, navy beans. Hoagies and grinders, hoagies and grinders, navy beans, meatloaf sandwich. Sloppy Joe, sloppy Joe, sloppy Joe.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of What the Hell Happened to Them? I'm Patrick Scale, and of course we have with me Joe. On the audio boards, as always, great maven, Lev Van Rensselaer, and we have a special guest today. Could you introduce yourself?
Casey.
Casey, great. Casey is joining us today to talk about, what movie are we talking about, Joe?
Mr. Deeds.
All right, Joe, can you give us a plot summary of Mr. Deeds?
Yes, because I wrote it down from the internet.
No, I don't want your internet summary. All right, Casey, give me a plot summary of Mr. Deeds.
Oh, you son of a gun.
All right, well...
Yeah, don't look at my notes.
Don't look at his notes.
Longfellow Deeds has an uncle who dies and he inherits...
Who's Longfellow
40?
Deeds?
That's his name.
Yeah, but like
Come on.
Adam Sandler.
Deeds. Adam Sandler.
Let her give the summary, please, Joe.
He inherits $40 billion and... 40 billion, is that right?
$40 billion.
I don't know. A lot of fucking
the
money.
stakes are very high.
He inherits $40 billion.
And before that, he's kind of just a small town guy. That's all that inherits.
Yeah.
Stop looking at his notes.
Pizza.
Do you know where he hails from?
Somewhere in New Hampshire. Mandrake Falls.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, she watched it this morning,
I did watch it this morning.
So it's not as sad that she remembers that.
Do you remember where Winona Ryder's character Pam Dawson that she makes up comes from?
Chestertonfieldville, Iowa.
What? That girl is Winona Ryder?
You didn't know
She looks nothing like her.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's Winona Ryder. All right, well, IMDb says this movie is a sweet-natured small-town guy inherits a controlling stake in a media conglomerate and begins to do business his way. Which, I don't know if he does business his way.
First of all, that never happened.
Yeah.
He has like a thing with the football player, and that's it.
Yeah, he doesn't really do much. He goes partying with John McEnroe for a little while.
Yeah, but that's nothing to do with business. But before we go further, Casey, I gotta know, why did you want to do this podcast?
Oh yeah, why do you...
You went to Joe and said, my friend Casey really wants to do Mr. Deeds, and I thought, that's the movie she really wants to do?
Yeah, I wanted you to do...
I like Emilio. I like the very, very sneaky guy.
You like John Turturro.
So you like this movie?
I don't love it.
I'm not going to tell you if you do.
Watching it again, I didn't love it, but...
So when was the last time you'd watched it?
Oh, before this? Maybe when I was like...
When did it come out?
Like when it came out.
So
12 years old?
2001?
Yeah, like 12, yeah.
Okay, that seems like a movie. Yeah, a 12-year-old might enjoy that movie.
I did not enjoy this movie when I was 12.
I saw the previews for it and knew I was not going to enjoy this movie.
I went to see this in the theater with my dad, and I'm like, Dad, this movie sucks, and he was laughing out loud, and I'm like...
But that's not a knock on you. That just means I'm old and curmudgeonly, even when I was 11. That's just who I am. That's all that I know.
Yeah.
So
fax machines, guys. There's a lot of fax machines in this.
It's 2001. It was a different time.
Yeah.
That's all they knew, Joe.
They
were lucky they had fire.
Okay. Speaking of fire, thank you for the segue. The cat fire scene is what I've been wanting to talk to you since I watched this movie. What did you think?
Maybe that's why I liked it. The cats.
The what? 7 cats thrown out the window.
It would explain a lot.
And then the cat lady's like, "Oh, my babies, they're and he's like, oh, what are you talking about? And he's like, my 7 kitties. And I'm like, oh my god. And then he throws them out on a trampoline.
What's crazy about this movie is that Adam Sandler takes a long time to come into the movie. We're with the rich people with
8 minutes. I timed
it.
We're
with the rich people with the funny voices, and I'm like, is this the jokes? Are these jokes just they having funny voices?
Do they have funny voices? Oh yeah.
They're like weird rich people voices, you know?
Yeah.
And that was a joke for a while. And then we get to Adam Sandler, and Adam Sandler pretty much has his life together. Like he's
doing great.
Like he really wants nothing. It's like if this movie never happens, his life is perfect.
Yeah, no, he doesn't need a girlfriend.
So I'm trying to
ever.
figure out, okay, what's his arc going to be? I'm like, oh, maybe he's going to teach everybody else how to be better at being rich or whatever. You know,
No,
and then that doesn't even happen either.
Very wrong.
No, this isn't a movie. This movie's just an excuse to have a romantic comedy. There's no need for the money to be involved at all.
Isn't all of his movies though an excuse for a romantic comedy?
But at least in Wedding Singer or
I
can't think of any others because I'm blanking.
No, but this is what begins the shitty straight man romantic comedy.
It feels organic. The romantic comedy part doesn't even come in for like 40 minutes.
Hour, 40 minutes.
Like it takes a long time for you to realize that's what this movie's going to be, and then they just really lump it in there, and then at the end they like, oh, by the way, yeah, we got to go back to this business thing, so you feel like the movie's a complete movie.
Yeah. Are we aware that this movie is based on the Mr. Deeds Goes to Town movie?
Yeah. Did anyone look that up? Did anyone look that up and see what the plot of that movie is?
No, I can look it up. I can look it up now. But
look it up right now.
The writing credits for this movie were given to the guy who wrote the story for that, and then the guy who wrote that movie. And then Tim Herlihy, Sandler favorite, who he always works with. It's just he needs to find new guys.
Okay, so Casey, so you watched this in 2001, and then you went back and saw it. You liked this movie so much you wanted to do the podcast, but you hadn't watched it since it came out.
There's more to this, though.
Wait, what?
You've already watched it, and then you watched it again this morning.
Because I didn't take any notes. I didn't remember anything. I wanted to make sure I was ready. I wanted to be ready.
You watched this movie twice. God bless you. God bless you, Casey.
You're a real trooper from this.
So what were some things that you noticed this time around? What were the differences in both viewings?
I mean, I definitely didn't like it as much as I liked it when I was younger. The plot is a little bit iffy. Murky. Maybe not there. Doesn't exist, yeah.
Okay, what do you got? We'll get back to you in a moment, Casey.
Mr. Deeds Goes to Town is a 1936 movie directed by Frank Capra.
Oh, it's even the title alone sounds like a Frank Capra movie.
Yeah, and it's with Gary Cooper.
Yeah, sure, I buy that.
Jean Arthur, George Bancroft. It's loading.
That's it. Okay. Well, then thank you for interrupting us. So you could have waited till you had it all. You know you didn't have it all. You did it anyway. All right. So what else? What else was different here? So it wasn't as funny. You said it wasn't as funny. Why might some of those jokes not have hit as well?
To the Sneaky
I mean, I watched it. The Sneaky Hill Up. I watched it.
Do you still like Sneaky John Turturro?
I like it.
Wasted in this movie.
And he's always given a weird false ethnicity in every movie because no one knows where he's really from. I feel bad for John.
I'm sorry. Keep going, Casey.
I feel like he could be France.
He could be anywhere. His last name makes me think Italian, and do the right thing, but I don't know anymore. I don't know. God, I'm sorry, Casey.
I mean, I watched it. I have to be honest. I watched it by myself this morning. It was not nearly as entertaining as when I watched it. It was with a friend when I was younger. Yeah, it's definitely not.
Well, so we're trying to track this course of Adam Sandler, as you may have heard. And there's something interesting about having that perspective of being young and watching it, and then watching it now, and maybe maybe his audience is aged, and that's sort of why his movies keep tailing off. Maybe it doesn't work so much anymore for that crowd. But the young people, they still come. Young people still have respect for Adam Sandler. That ties into my grown-ups story, but I can't get to that until we're at grown-ups.
Man, this is the build-up to grown-ups is like my mouth is watering.
Have you seen Grown Ups, Casey?
I have not.
I have not either, and you know why? It looks pretty bad, doesn't it?
No,
you don't. I don't think
encourage that.
Skip
joke.
Grown Ups. Watch Grown Ups 2.
You might miss out on some of the finer plot details, though, if you don't see Grown Ups.
Nothing. You just need to watch Grown Ups 2 because it is just. Oh man, I can't. We're jumping ahead, way too far ahead by 15 movies.
But I agree with Casey. This movie's not funny.
The movie is
I'm trying to think of when there were jokes.
There were no jokes.
There were not really jokes.
I like the very, very sneaky guy.
Okay, yes.
Funny.
Sneaky.
Yeah, stick with that. Sneaky.
That's a funny gag.
We got one joke.
It's a gag. I wouldn't call it a joke.
It's just they just kind of took the script from the original 1936 movie, and then they're like,
you don't even know what the script is. You didn't look it up. You don't know what the script is.
It's not loading.
I thought this would be he would go, right? It'd be like a fish out of water story. All the butlers would say, no, it's not how we do things.
Okay.
And then he would teach them over the course of the movie, but instead he just says, no, this is how we're going to do things now. And everybody's like, okay, that sounds fine.
Okay.
Movie's over. No, there's 15 minutes left of the movie.
Okay, so Mr. Deeds Goes to Town from 1936. It's listed as a comedy drama, Longfellow Deeds, a simple-hearted Vermont tuba player, so they changed the tuba player with greeting card writer, inherits a fortune and has to contend with opportunist city slickers, which I'm sure they handled fine.
Which I bet, you know what? I bet in that movie, I bet in that movie, that's exactly what happens. There's no false advertisement there.
Oh yeah,
it's literally the movie this movie should have been.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't have to make this movie. He could have just been like, "Oh, I'm going to be just a New Hampshire guy." They did not use the Mr. Deeds title.
Exactly. And he's not even a greeting card writer. He's a guy that wants to. He owns a pizza shop. He wants to be.
He writes shitty poems.
His big dream in life is to be a greeting card writer.
He loves to deliver pizza, weird pizza, to Steve Buscemi.
Fairly though, he has a small and very strong audience in that pizza shop.
Oh yeah,
that's true. The whole town loves him.
Then he points out to the cop. He's like, "Wait a minute, you're not a cop." I think that might be funny. And the guy's like,
I think that's kind of funny. There was like 3 poop jokes I think I found.
Somewhat.
They really tried to insert those in there. And they put him in New Hampshire, but it feels like with all the people that he meets, like he's in the hills of the Appalachia. Like he's dealing with hill people. But he has a very strong, New England accent.
I
know, I'm just saying. I know.
Instead of calling them potatoes, he calls them potatas.
Yeah, him and one other guy in the town have super strong accents, and nobody else has an accent.
Yeah, Peter Dante.
Like his friend from New Hampshire. No, the people who don't live anywhere in New England, New Hampshire's not like this. New Hampshire's just a regular town with a lot of trees. It's not West Virginia with crazy eye hobos.
I know we're jumping to the end, but the Monopoly Man joke... There's a Monopoly Man joke in here where he points to him and says, "Oh, like the Monopoly guy," and then you see a guy who they took to the costume designer and was like, "We need a guy to look like the Monopoly guy," and that's the joke.
I don't fall so bad for that. It's lazy, sure, but whatever.
I feel like they tried to put a lot of jokes in. They were like over the top and not really funny. Like they didn't really.
I guess I remember him. He's fighting. He's fighting in that. He does in that bar brawl with the rich guys, and the guy sings until he punches him out. Like that. I remember that being in the commercials for the movie. Yeah. And I'm like, that doesn't feel like it's funny at all. Why would that be a joke? Why are you counting that?
I took a note. My note says, "The jokes come soft and slow."
Where are they? You know what this is in this movie? This is sort of the beginning of him being the straight man.
Yeah, that's what...
he doesn't change. He doesn't grow. Others sometimes grow around him, and he doesn't have any of the jokes on his own. Like, he hugs people too much, I guess is supposed to be funny, but nobody really minds it all that much.
He tells people to watch their language around.
Yeah, I don't even remember that. Like, that's how little that affected anything.
He says it a lot.
I don't remember it
6 or 7 times.
So I think this is sort of the beginning of the end here. This is him like, oh, I can do that. I can do this, not have to worry about being funny.
5 movies
not have to worry about acting. And then check my paycheck every day and make a lot. Did this movie make a lot of money, Joe? Did you look up those numbers?
Yes, I did. This movie made a lot of money. So the budget was $50 million, which is insane. The opening weekend, it made $37 million, which that's pretty good. And then the worldwide total, though, altogether was $171.2 million. It tripled its budget.
See, but this is me thinking that people are like, oh, Adam Sandler's movie, I bet this will be funny. And then they go and then they don't know. So I guess we have to figure out I guess we have to look at the next Sandler comedy and see if it takes a downshift because this movie's so nothing.
Well, the problem is the next Adam Sandler comedy, I put in quotes, is Punch Drunk Love.
No, we're not counting that because that was like a wide release thing. What's like the next broad comedy?
Broad comedy?
Yeah, what's his next broad comedy?
8 Crazy Nights.
Oh, Jesus. And I remember my friends wanting to see that too when those trailers were out and still saying, no, these are terrible ideas.
And then they're like, but wait, he's animated.
Yeah, that doesn't make it better.
It really doesn't. And
it does look weird when he is when he looks like Adam Sandler, but everybody else looks like a cartoon. There was something very unsettling about that in those trailers.
And actually, the official title for that movie is Adam Sandler's 8 Crazy Nights.
You got to know who's in it, in case you can't tell by his cartoon look-alike and voice alike.
He voices 4 characters in that movie.
He does?
Yeah, he does the 2 old people, and then he does himself, and then he does some weird commercial guy. I also noticed, I don't know if you guys noticed, soap opera lighting once in a while, where it just gets kind of like really heavy-handed with the drama they're putting on there, and it's just, the lighting is just like, their faces look like they're lit by the moon.
Yeah, I almost think that maybe the director wanted to be like, hey, let's emulate 1930s cinema, and then kind of was bad at it, or forgot to do it half the time.
So
it still feels like a mistake. But who directed this? I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt.
Do you want who directed this?
Yeah.
The Stephen Brill, who directed Little Nicky right before this. But it was...
But at least he was still playing a character. He wasn't a straight man.
Yeah.
But I knew Mr. T. Little Nicky.
I also
Talking dog.
You still didn't know it was Winona Ryder.
I did not know. It didn't look like Winona Ryder.
I wrote, love Winona, hate this movie.
What I remember from Winona Ryder is like her being an android and having like milk come out of her and falling in a pit in Alien Resurrection. That's the Winona Ryder.
That sounds like a spoiler for
That's
Alien
the Winona
Resurrection.
Ryder I remember. So she looked very different. Maybe she has short hair.
I have another note from this movie. I don't like this movie.
Why does Winona Ryder change her hair in this movie?
Because she has to...
I don't know. Because he doesn't know who she is.
I almost think she was doing... I almost think she was doing a different movie in the middle of this movie and had to change it for that movie.
She got really into her character, Pam Dawson,
she could have just put on a wig. But no, she cuts her hair and dyes it. And I'm like, I thought it would turn back once she got found out, and then that's just what her hair is now for the rest of the movie.
Yeah. I think this movie relies heavily on Adam Sandler beating up people to be funny.
Like, and I remember when he beats up
his friend,
that
Alan
guy...
Colbert, the guy with the weird hair, and he put on like 30 pounds for this role. For no reason. He did not need to put on any weight.
Maybe
for this.
he just did it because he was at a sad point in his life and he overate.
Okay, I want to ask you, what did you think of when the shower scene when Alan Covert is soaping up his ass, and then the guy calls him out, he's like, you can stop soaping up your ass. You don't remember this part.
Maybe I blocked it out, I don't know.
It's after the tennis scene, and he's beat up, and the guy's just soaping up his butt for like a good 30 seconds. And you're just watching him soap his butt up.
It's kind of weird, unnecessary.
She didn't even remember it, Joe.
I must have.
And you watched it this morning. That's what's crazy about it.
Is you watched it twice in close proximity. But Al Sharpton shows up in this movie.
Al Sharpton reading a poem or a greeting card, whatever they want to call it, and then Sandler's like, "Oh, he's doing a really good job." And then Al Sharpton comments on Adam Sandler's poem. He's like, "Oh, not a bad rhyme."
Like, to think, like, if Al Sharpton had been president, we would have had a president that was in an Adam Sandler movie. You know what? There was one funny scene when they bring back that guy who teaches pool in Community, when he's like the father of that football player.
Blake Clark.
Yeah, and he pulls out his belt.
Like, no, Daddy, no!
That was funny. That was like a weird, but like water boy type weird humor to it.
You were gonna like that scene.
Like that was like classic Sandler.
Hated that scene.
Right? That felt like his weird Adult Swim type humor. That's what I like. I want more of that. And there was none of it. Like when the cat fire scene, like eventually, like at 5 seconds in, there's too many cat noises, and it's the most annoying thing now. All right, we get it, the cats make weird noises. There's not jokes in the cat noises.
What about when they made all this? It seemed like all the cats died in that scene when the media turned it over, and she's like, "No, what are you doing? He's a nice guy." And then it looks like he's like molesting the old lady with the cats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, when the movie stops being
I'm
about...
asking what you thought
It stops being about corporate mores and becomes about broadcast, mores.
Yeah.
Like, who's the enemy in this movie? Sorry, kids, for interrupting. It angered me. You have no thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you got nothing.
I got nothing.
I cut her off, and she lost her train of thought. Nothing I can do about that. And then for a while, she feels like she's the main character.
Yeah,
like there are large chunks where he disappears and she feels really sad. She has the sad montage, like, he broke up with me, I did the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Well, this movie's messy. This is a messy. Oh. And then the corporate guy that's been like an asshole, he's like, "No, go to him. It's okay." Like, I thought you were the bad. Who's the bad guy in this movie? Oh, that rich guy from the beginning. They're bringing him back for the last 10 minutes. I see.
What?
Once again,
wait, which
the rich guy who's trying to take over the company
Chuck?
At the end. I don't know anyone's
name. What's up,
name.
Chuck? That was a joke in this movie.
Well, that's awful.
It was, yeah.
But then once again, Adam Sandler has a big speech at the end of a movie that accomplishes nothing.
Oh yeah,
right. Like this seems to be a running trope in his movies now.
Yeah, this is.
And what? And you know they're trying really hard to make that guy be the bad guy because he wasn't really a bad guy. He was just kind of annoying. When he's like, "I'm going to buy this company and I'm going to fire everybody." Why? Then you don't have a company anymore.
That was pretty random, yeah.
It defeats the purpose. It's not whoever wrote this movie doesn't understand how corporations work. They do. Every person will be fired. Okay, then how do you make more money then? What's the point of owning the company? It can no longer produce anything.
Yeah.
I don't understand the stakes of this movie.
I think they wanted to sell their stocks.
But he just bought all the stocks. Like, that's what he wanted, to buy everybody else's stock. He wanted to own this company.
That's a good point, yeah.
He doesn't know how to run a company. He went to Harvard to run companies. I don't know.
Sandler playing the straight man is boring to me. With all the people around him being wacky, except we can leave the town of wacky people behind, and now he's just around city jerks and a quirky butler.
Well, see, and this is when Hollywood has some trouble. If you have Sandler, why bother to have Sandler play a straight man other than the fact that he's name recognition?
Yeah.
There's no good use for him there. So it's just Hollywood churning out movies to make money. And I'm not one of those guys that's very anti-Hollywood. Hollywood can make some pretty good movies. They have a lot of resources behind that belt, and they're getting smarter about auteurs and directors and things like that.
Are they?
But it's
Josh Trank?
Yes, okay.
Josh Trank?
Not all the time. Not all the time.
Let's just do a
most of the time.
little tangent on what you think of Josh Trank right now.
I'm not getting
with the Fantastic Four.
Listen, okay, but
I really want to document this.
But I don't even know if I can blame the studio here because it sounds like Josh Trank is just a big DP who doesn't know how to make a movie. He can make a found footage movie because anyone can throw a rock and make a found footage movie. But he couldn't make a movie when the chips were down. He didn't have what it takes to work with actors and deal with personalities and do everything he had to do to be a leader on that set because he's a 28-year-old who got it too good too quickly, didn't understand what the stakes were.
But we'll never know the fantastic version of him.
He thinks he's all this shit because he made one movie I couldn't remember the title of. For $10 million, which seems like way more money than that movie needed to be made for.
Yeah, because it was just shot in someone's backyard.
Have you heard about this Fantastic Four movie?
Have you?
I haven't seen it.
But have you heard about how terrible it is?
I've heard it's bad, yeah.
It's being trashed.
You guys saw it, right?
I have not seen it.
Oh,
I don't know why he saw it.
I saw it because...
Yeah, okay, you did tell me
I
you
saw it Friday morning after work because I'm like, well, I need to see how bad this movie is. And now I want Josh Trank to be Adam Sandler's third Netflix deal. I wanted to see how bad we can make something.
So Adam Sandler's getting a lot of guff now on the internet from the women perspective. Have you seen a lot of Adam Sandler movies, Casey?
I've seen a couple, yeah.
Yeah, do you feel that he's
None
a
of his newer
sexist?
ones.
I mean, I guess if you've only seen earlier ones, maybe it's not as tangential, but...
I mean, like which movies do...
I don't know. This seems to be a common gig that Adam Sandler is this great Hollywood sexist of this old guard that needs to die out. Do you have, as a woman, do you have these feelings? Do you feel that maybe he doesn't treat your gender fairly? Do you think maybe it's a larger Hollywood issue? We're not trying to get political here. We'll try to keep it Sandler-esque, but what do you think?
I didn't...
You don't know?
I watched most of them when I was young, so it's not something that I would have noticed. I didn't really notice it in this movie, but I guess there are no women in power in the movie, you know what I mean? And she's like a damsel in distress. Yeah. Who like kind of lies to him the whole time. I don't know.
Like literally, she's a damsel in distress when she's like, she falls in the ice and she can't get out, and so she needs.
And he's just a nice guy that's trying to save her. Like,
but he's like,
he's like, I'm not saving you. You're faking this.
Yeah.
He's like, oh shit, you could freeze to death.
And he's like, where are the cameras now? And she's like, no cameras. I'm really cold. And he's just like, whatever. I don't know. It
was weird that when she was being mugged, and first of all, having terrible reactions after Adam Sandler beats her up, and those are not funny jokes. But she sounded like
molest me.
She sounded like that woman from the Popeye cartoons, right?
Oh.
Wasn't it eerie how much she sounded?
What's her name?
Help!
Olive oil?
Olive oil. Shelley Duvall.
Shelley Duvall. Oh.
That kind of bugged me. But for me, I feel like she's actually like the lead agent in this movie most of the time. She's technically the one who does have the power. She's just using it for evil, I guess. Except for that one scene.
I don't even know what Sandler's trying to...
But then she's willing to give everything up to move to New Hampshire to be with this guy. So in that case, I say... But that, I don't think is a Sandler. That seems to be just a romantic comedy formula issue.
Well, wouldn't she want pizza with Oreos and French fries?
What?
You don't remember the Steve Buscemi thing? Where
I'm sorry, I don't remember forgettable lines from this forgettable movie.
There's a whole reaction shot where Steve Buscemi plays Crazy Eyes.
I remember that. Steve Buscemi about to play another homeless man.
Yeah.
Why not?
He's really just taking a shit. Every Adam Sandler movie, like the next one, he just like wants to take a bigger shit on Steve Buscemi's like fascinating career.
Steve Buscemi kind of likes it. Like I think he likes.
Yeah, it's a little
around.
masochistic. He's just like,
I'll go on set for 4 days and have fun with this pal from Airheads way back when.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's 4 wins and 7 nominations for this movie?
It's gotta be Razzies.
It's all Razzies, I know. It's
gotta be Razzies.
Yeah, they each got nominated for Best Actress. I mean, Worst Actress and Worst Actor. And I think this got worst movie nominated. I don't think it won anything though.
Do you have any further thoughts, Casey, on this movie? Any looking at your notes? Anything fun there?
Yeah, look at your notes.
We pretty much have gone over everything.
Like, you watched this twice. Was it more grating the second when you watched it by yourself? Did you find yourself,
I definitely didn't enjoy it. I definitely did not enjoy it. I mean, I wasn't begging for death. I don't think it was that bad.
No?
But
All right.
Oh, hold up.
Oh, we're going to hold up here,
Oh, it was only nominated, but Sandler did get nominated for Best Comedic Performance for this movie.
For what? Golden Globe?
No, for MTV Movie Awards.
Oh, yeah, the young people are still eating up Adam Sandler, even in Mr. D. You guys will eat anything, young people. Come on.
Wait, this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. It's
what?
The ASCAP Film and Television Music Awards. They won something. Well, Dave Matthews did. Dave Matthews has a couple of songs in this movie.
So, but is he writing for this movie, or does he have songs in this movie and then magically win awards for it?
I'm not. I don't know anything about Dave Matthews, so I'm not going to say anything.
Was it ASCAP Awards? Is that what you were saying?
The ASCAP. Yeah, I guess.
Did you give me each letter?
Yeah, I didn't know it was the Ask. I don't know.
They like to call themselves ASCAP but they're just trying to be
I always thought it was the
cool,
ASCAP,
you know.
But okay. Most performed song from a motion picture. Most performed song from a motion picture. That's a weird award.
So does that mean like he's in concerts performing it, or like it's getting played on the radio a lot?
Or maybe
and does it have anything to do with it being in Mr. Deeds, or was it already a popular song and that's why it ends up in Mr. Deeds and everybody wants to listen to it regardless of Mr. Deeds' existence?
I have no idea.
There's so many options
the song
here.
Where Are You Going? So if when
was that song in the movie?
I think that was already. I don't remember it being in the movie, but I think it was already on the radio. Yeah.
So, most performed song. That's what this movie won.
And anyway, going back to the Hanukkah song thing, because people my age, when I was in like 7th grade, wanted to see this movie, and they would have no idea what SNL was at the time. But they loved Adam Sandler anyway. So I don't know if that's Happy Gilmore or Waterboy. But for some reason, the young people, they ate him up. They ate him up, and so they really wanted to see Mr. Deeds, regardless of how lackluster that trailer looked.
It's the slapstick.
There was no slapstick in this thing. Like he pokes his foot with a fire poker, and that's kind of it. And that didn't even get as played out as I thought it was going to be. The trailer, they make it seem like this big long bit, but it was just like, it's over, we're done.
This movie just bummed me out.
Donatello wants to change people's socks.
Oh, he has a
now it's starting to get creepy more than funny. And it started with Kevin Nealon having boobs on his head and little Nicky. And talking dogs, smoking pot. There's nothing funny about that!
I still think that's funny.
It's not funny the first time it's on screen. It's not funny the 8 other times they do it.
Good luck with the nipple rubbing. That's great. And I had the least amount of notes for that movie. So do we get your final thoughts on this? Do you like
that's
it?
your final thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say yes. That's my final thoughts too. Yeah.
No.
What do you think?
I wasn't impressed, but
It was a movie.
It exists.
It exists.
As a person who's not a big Sandler fan, it's not the worst movie. I mean, it's probably one of the ones I like better than others.
It's definitely better than Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
It's definitely better than Fantastic Four. As the only person that's seen Fantastic Four, I can definitely say
you are. In fact, you're the only person in all of America. That movie has made $10.50 on your ticket. That's all that movie has.
Actually, I saw it at a matinee, so only $7.
$7 for a matinee? Where are you going for a $7 matinee?
Lincoln.
That's the dream.
Cinema World. Yep.
You have the card. We got the card there that time.
Yep. It's a good idea.
Yeah.
One more movie, I can see a movie for free.
Well, they have those vouchers. How many movies do I have to see?
Like 5 or 6.
You're distracting me, Joe, from the podcast.
Well, this movie sucks. What are your final thoughts, Patrick?
Well, I want to go, Casey. So, what do you think?
Oh, okay.
Like, if this movie's kind of met, was there like a really bad Sandler movie?
I mean, I don't know. There's not very many that I like.
You say you don't like Billy Madison.
What's the most recent one you've seen?
I haven't
Besides
seen
Mr. Deeds?
No, but Mr. Deeds came out in 2001. Have you seen a Sandler movie that came out after Mr. Deeds?
I mean, I did see 50 First Dates. I mean, I've seen Eat Crazy Nights.
How do those movies hold up to Mr. Deeds?
Those I haven't seen in a long time, but those I didn't.
I'll bring over 8 Crazy
Nights.
I'll bring over 8 Crazy Nights. We'll see what you think.
Stop spreading around. You keep telling me how terrible it is. Why would you want to spread that to others?
I had to rebuy this movie. I want to make as many people as I can watch this.
Why'd you have to rebuy it?
Because before we left for Hawaii last year, I watched that movie thinking, I have fond memories of this movie. I didn't hate it. This is before we even started to do this podcast.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I put it in. That is 78 minutes that I am dreading watching again. I threw that movie out as soon as it got out of my DVD player. And I was like, I never want to watch you again.
You threw it out and then you rebought it to watch for the podcast?
Because it's not available on, like, any streaming service.
Good.
Keep
that quarantined.
Nope, he's spreading the plague.
It's smallpox. We gotta hide that.
Well, it's our second.
So did you?
next.
Well, I gotta ask. Did you buy it on DVD or did you buy it on Blu-ray?
It only exists on DVD.
No way.
And VHS, but I don't have.
So this is a movie that nobody wants anything to do with anymore.
Oh yeah, no, I think
because you got The Wedding Singer on Blu-ray.
Oh, that's a good movie.
The Wedding Singer is good. I like The Wedding Singer.
The Wedding Singer is a movie, and that's how that sentence goes.
It is much better than Mr. Deeds.
Yeah, granted.
Well, that's saying. Well, I guess that's saying much.
Yeah, you got past that high bar of Mr. Deeds with 51st Dates. Well done. Good to go. I just got in an argument because I was telling somebody I was doing these podcasts, and I was playing.
Were they mad at you?
And I was explaining how much I like Waterboy. And like, yeah, well, and then they go on all the other movies that they like.
You made me like Waterboy.
Waterboy I'd never seen it.
I used to hate it because of spitting.
I liked Waterboy. What a weird thing to hate a movie for. Spitting.
I don't like spitting.
They spit a couple times in the movie, Casey. He doesn't like the movie.
Do they spit that much? I don't.
Exactly. You don't remember that, do you? Because it's happened so little.
They really hawk it up.
If he didn't say that he hated spitting, I wouldn't even know people spit in this movie. Like, I can't remember people spitting in this movie.
Maybe we need to watch it again. Maybe
I could watch that movie again.
Let's revisit it.
They put that on Blu-ray.
Yes, I have it on Blu-ray.
Do you think Overboard's on Blu-ray?
No, it's not even released on DVD. Maybe on DVD.
It couldn't be released on DVD. Yeah, right, because somebody's like, Adam
VHS,
Sandler. I bet people would want to buy this piece of crap.
We'll fill you in, guys.
They went and saw Mr. Deeds, so I'm sure they'll do Overboard.
Oh, actually, Going Overboard wasn't released. Like, it was just like on a I think maybe if it was on TV or whatever, like on the HBO. But it didn't actually get a physical release until after Mr. Deeds.
I buy it. I buy that.
Because then Sandler...
Because then they're like, oh, these people will watch anything he's in.
Yeah.
Was he in a commercial for dog food? Let's put that on a DVD.
He did a short movie with his dog Meatball in between this movie and 8 Crazy Nights. So we should probably watch that.
Could we find that movie?
Yeah. It's on one of his... it's on 8 Crazy Nights special features.
Great. Who did that movie?
It's like a 3-minute short film.
Yeah, but he's like, I'm gonna make a movie about my dog.
He might just take one of his handheld cameras and go around his gigantic mansion.
All right, so
I haven't watched it in a while.
So tracing Sandler's career here. To me, this feels like this is the beginning of the straight man era. This is the beginning when he realizes he can coast. And we're going to get a lot of coasting here on out. Would you agree, Casey?
With the exception of I definitely agree, yeah. Most movies after this,
So I guess that's interesting. So you watched a lot of Sandler movies when you were growing up, right? You watched...
Not a ton of them,
the average amount, I guess, 4 or 5?
You watched
it's more than I
three
watched.
Basic ones.
Right, so you watched those, but then you stopped. Why did you stop watching?
I guess they just stopped being entertaining.
Yeah.
They weren't really funny, yeah. It's just, I mean, it's not really... I've never loved Sandler movies.
Yeah.
They're not...
You never went to see a movie because Adam Sandler was in it?
Yeah, I've never seen one in the theaters.
Yeah.
I've never been like, oh, Adam Sandler. Like, I gotta see that movie. It's gotta watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess I just stopped enjoying them.
Yeah,
at all. I don't know. Yeah, I can't think of.
I do.
You really bucked the trend with America because they just started to stop seeing his movies.
Yeah.
You were ahead of the curve on this one.
All right, yeah, well, we're wrapping up, Lev. All right, we'll come on. All right, look, you got any final thoughts, Joe?
I don't like this movie. Patrick, what are your thoughts?
That's your final thoughts? That's it?
I don't like this movie. I am... Once we're finished with this, I can be happy that I will be able to throw this DVD away.
Oh my god.
I never want to watch this again. I have no use for it. I don't like this movie.
So I guess for me, my final thoughts on remaking of a movie...
From the 30s.
If you're gonna... Fine. First of all, if you're gonna... Why remake a movie from the 30s? You're not banking on name brand at that point. It's like when they remade The Lone Ranger. People don't remember The Lone Ranger so much anymore. They don't really care. Like, you're not getting an audience who are like, oh, I love The Lone Ranger growing up. I want to see that. What are you going to say, Jim?
I just want to interrupt you for a second, because it's a weird joke, but maybe you'll get it.
Fine.
I hope this is the only Adam Sandler movie that he remakes from a Frank Capra movie. Do you know which movie comes later that I'm referencing?
No, I don't know most of Adam Sandler's movies.
This is a joke that'll be played out later then.
All right, then.
Because he remakes like a Frank Capra movie later on.
He remakes it?
Well, like...
Does he write this Deed script? Does he have anything to do with the script?
No. This is Tim Hurley. And they're just using it from the other script.
Fine. So if you're making a movie... When you remake a movie, if you're going to remake a movie, it can't just be like Psycho with Vince Vaughn, where you just
shot
say,
by shot.
Where you just say, yeah, hey, people like this movie, let's put it in color. Like, you got to put on your own spin here. So if they had this wacky movie about a fish out of water, a guy who puts the business world on its end.
Does he?
And in the original movie,
okay.
which, and that might not even be the plot, but I fully believe that it is. That feels very Capra-esque.
I'm sure you did a good job.
Right, and you didn't want to just rehash that in this movie. I say to that, fine, all right, that makes sense. There's no point in doing that again. So if you wanted to do your news media thing, that's a much more prevalent force in our business world today. That seems interesting. You could have gotten something good out of that.
Yeah, they half-assed that.
If you wanted to do the romantic comedy and just have this be the backdrop,
yeah, they half-assed that.
I guess
they half-assed a bunch of things.
It feels lazy, and I'm sure the original had a romantic comedy element in it anyway. That's also kind of Capra-esque. But if you're going to do none of these things, or I guess technically do all of these things to the point where they're each negligible, why for all the people in a studio that can so easily say no, and all it needs is one no, and then you stop, why are so many people saying yes to this? Did they write this with Adam Sandler in mind? Did they know he was going to do it?
Well, Tim Hurley did.
So
they write together for the most part.
All right, so Adam Sandler is involved in this pre-production wise. Like, it's not like they have a movie and they say, all right, let's put Adam Sandler in it, because that's the only way this movie's going to sell.
This is a Happy Madison production, so either Tim Hurley, he's like, hey, Sandler, let's remake this movie, or Sandler's like, hey, I want to do this.
So Tim Hurley's going and say, I have the script for this Mr. D's movie. I watched it last week, and I thought, this would make a great movie. I was high, but I think it'll still make a great movie. And then I wrote it this weekend, too. Wow, you wrote a whole thing in a movie? The whole weekend I did it was perfectly fine.
If we were doing
and then they go to a studio.
Nailed it.
They go to a studio and they're like, oh, Adam Sandler, you want to make a movie? Yeah, here's the pitch. No, we don't need to hear it. You just make the movie. Like, at some point...
Yeah, because Sandler has so much script
exactly,
now.
So
he's
fine. I don't know. Are they getting lazy? Are they thinking that we can just crap anything out on a page and people will want... Like, it doesn't feel like this script had a draft.
You think this had a draft?
Like, they wrote this draft in this weekend, and the studio said, fine.
Go.
Yeah,
go,
fine.
Go.
Yeah. Well, what do you need? 80 million? We're going to give you 120 million. You're fine. It's perfectly fine.
They give him 50.
50 million. Well, at least they held
Josh
back.
Trank in Fantastic Four, where they give him $120 million to make a low-budget coming of age sort of. That movie is one first act. It's a first act 2-hour movie.
So the point of my remake spiel, the point of my final thoughts, don't be like Steven Spielberg and AI. Don't have the voice of something behind you when you're making this movie.
Can we just do a podcast about AI right now? We'll do like a bonus episode.
I'd love to do a Kubrick podcast. That'd be great. Don't try to be something. If you want to do there's something in that story that called to you, Mr. Hurley, and I hope it wasn't just a fat paycheck. What was something that you felt like you could tell a story or that would work well in a modern context, but you didn't apply it? So just be a little. Try to put some effort, screenwriters out there, into your remakes and try to find the element of you and the element of the temporary times. That was embarrassing to say that. Find an element of you and find an element of modernity to add to that script and make it feel like something new that has to be made now. These are my final thoughts. Yes, Lev Ventura, we're going to go. All right, so you got something you're going to say? Lev, hold on.
I think Tim Hurley should stop looking at the script says, I need to get home by 5 o'clock.
Yeah. Like he can write this movie in a day. I bet him would just go in and say,
man,
hey, you know, be funny, let's do some TV stuff. Oh, hey, no, let's do some funny romantic. Oh, no, let's do some business guy. Oh, yeah, we got to do that business guy thing again. What? Oh, he likes socks now. That's his thing that he likes.
This movie is such a bummer.
There you go. All right, Casey, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Anything you'd like to plug, Casey?
Oh yeah. Selena?
Right, you sell
herbs,
weeds.
You need herbs, you need teas. Selena Garden Farm.
Where's the garden farm?
We're in Winchester.
Do you have a website?
And online, SelenaGardenFarm.com.
All right, thanks a lot. Hopefully you can hear over her mouse-like diction. And then, of course, Joe Vekeman is joining us. Joe, from the makers of cat lamps. Those are lamps that look like cats. And if you pay just a little extra, they're lamps made out of cats. Don't worry, the cats are long dead.
I do not endorse this product.
You make the product, Joe. And, of course, I'm Patrick Scale from Quixotic.com. We have features, we have TV shows, we have shorts. Yeah. And I'm getting to the sponsor, Lev. Today's show is brought to you by The Sun. If you like going outside and you like nature and you like living on Earth, then
don't visit Alaska 6 months of the year.
Then pay your taxes so that you can keep funding The Sun. Thank you so much. Thank you, Casey, for joining us. Say goodbye, Joe.
dirt and make them holler murder. Take them to the highest point of the earth, no need to follow further. The shit is universal, no time to do rehearsal. I never take a break, that shit is too commercial. I wasn't raised different, I was made different. Flow don't fuck around like it was raised Christian. Antisocial with these kids, we don't play with them. We just keep a small circle and we stay lifted. I need Monopoly bread, so if it ain't sex, then it gotta be head. So you got some candles, I prefer the sloppy instead. Do my own thing and they prefer to copy instead. The money got them in a frenzy, probably wanna envy. Glass half full, but the bottle's left empty. Baby, I'm a gentleman, but I don't do it gently. Backwoods with the Henny, rap good, never trendy.
Classic Sandler movie. Oh, special guest.
Hello.
We'll take a little break here. No, don't press anything. We screwed it all up.
Okay.
All right.
Let's keep going.